We are going live. We're live.
Hey everyone!
Hello.
We're back from Gencon, and we got some stuff, and we experienced some stuff.
It was Gencon, and there's people at Gencon.
Yeah,
That black headphone foam.
I think didn't they say that this was like way more than they were expecting?
I think so. Where'd we go? Hold on. There we go.
We may or may not be on.
We should be on. Are we on over there?
I'm checking.
Can you see us? If you're there, let us know if we're on or not. Chris?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And we have an excellent connection.
Do we have excellent audio? Because
yes,
the last bit of audio, I just want to make sure. If someone could just comment, we're going to move past it if not.
Yep. I put a noise filter on. People have been saying there was some white noise in the audio. So trying to get rid of that and make it better and less annoying to hear the white noise hum in the background.
I will say directly, like just now, we posted our gender reveal.
Yes.
So we will talk about that on this video in the chat. So if you would like to watch, that's a really sweet video. I cried when Daniel put it together because it's all of our friends opening up the cupcake and seeing what we're having. So go ahead and watch that really quick and then come back so that you
or watch it after. Watch it anytime.
It's sweet, even if you do know. It's so sweet. We are having intermittent storms.
I think they're past us, but we'll see. They may be.
So if we have thunder or the power flickers, we'll come back.
Hello, everybody's a Bree's on.
Hi, Bree. You're in the video
Frank
too.
Is on, and Chris is on.
Yay!
Thank you.
We've got a lot of boxes in front of us that we need to clear out.
We're not gonna go through all these now. We're gonna kind of talk about Gen Con, share some games we got, talk about Gen Con some more.
Can we move this big box though
What
first?
big box?
This giant one that's taking up half the
table. Which box are you
table.
referring to when you say this big box?
Are you shifting to?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Other stuff in front.
I know. Got our badges. So, and I just right before this booked our rooms for Gen Con 2023.
Next
so
year.
we'll see you all in a year.
And we're not 20 minutes away from it now. We'll be like a block away.
They just released the dates.
When is it?
Like an hour ago. It's like August 3rd through 6th. So
we'll be gone for Jared's birthday again.
Yeah, so the La Quinta downtown is like $229 a night, which is a great price for downtown hotels.
So come jump on that and be in our hotel with us.
Before that sells out. So yeah, we'll see y'all next year at Gen Con. But for now,
we're going to have a baby with us next year. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so we were really, we were worried that we weren't going to be able to do conventions. And then we saw so many people at Gen Con
I was so inspired.
Now, here's the thing, is one, people with babies. It's totally doable. But two, I saw multiple people with pack and plays on wheels with handles on them, which is both a baby cart and a game cart. So
because we're only wearing the baby too.
I'm getting old apparently. So a day of wearing a backpack around my back was killing me. So next year we're just gonna have a pack and play with a baby in it and games in it, and then we can create a little. It'll be like a game, but we'll build a board game fort for the baby.
We should have Leader sponsor it.
Yes, we should.
Okay, let's get rid of this game.
Yeah,
okay, so Foundations of Rome. I have my skepticism, as I do with. I'm a very skeptical gamer. We've discovered,
but it never
when it comes to new games.
But it never pans out.
It really doesn't.
Usually.
There's a few games that I'm
I can't think of a game that we have had that was.
Oh, I can, but I'm not going to mention them.
And there have been a couple of lower effort games that have been sent to us as reviews that were just straight.
There's been some higher efforts that I'm if you ask, I'll play it, but I'm not going to recommend. I'm not going to.
But typically, you tend to be pessimistic about games for no reason.
And as any pessimist would say, I'm a realist.
Or if you watched our, what's the pizza, the ghost pizza. You were
the psychic
psychic pizza deliverers go to the ghost town. If you watched our review of that, you talked about how you judge a book by its cover, and that was kind of off to you, and you didn't really like it. So I don't understand how you say you judge a book by its cover, and that turns you off to some games. No, and Foundations of Rome, you're just.
I think this one is strictly intimidation.
Okay.
But now that we've opened it and I've looked at it and I'm okay, I like polyomino, I like puzzle, I I think
And what
I
I'm
will
excited about this, like I'm excited
this
about
was
this.
a last minute purchase.
Yes, this was the last thing we got. Walking out, this was the last one we picked up, so we didn't have to carry it the whole time. I knew we were going to be
like
getting
carrying it out, and he goes, he turns back. He goes, "There's no graceful way to carry this game out of here."
No, I went
because there's so many people.
Yeah, no, we went to as we were walking out. We went by Julie from Greenbrier Games. She let us store our stuff back in the back
Julie's
of her booth.
amazing.
And I looked back there, and there was a fold-up cart. And I was like, "Hey, Julie, is that your fold-up? Can we borrow that? Can we take your cart to our cart?" It wasn't just a normal. No, it was like, an extra long.
It's like an extra long. Yeah. And then so I was behind him with the camera cases, and so we had like our own little parade.
Yeah, so
that interrupted the cosplay parade.
Yes,
but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, I took you to the car, and then I was coming back. And I got stuck in the parade and like kept having to go around and go around and go around. And I was like, I can't just, because I was not only needing to move through where the parade was happening, I was needing to move the opposite direction. It's like, I can't go through traffic with my little empty cart.
I really want to cosplay next year one day. And because I'm going to have a baby, I'm going to need to do something. So he probably will disown me the day I cosplay.
Depends on what you do.
So. It makes him uncomfortable, but I think I want to cosplay something. It's not going to be like a huge.
Turn my phone off because we're going to be getting weather alerts.
Yeah, we are. So give me suggestions of what I could cosplay as with a baby.
I saw
because I really want to.
I saw a very endearing story. So we got Foundations of Rome. This is one of our Grail games from. It was one of my Grail games from Gencon, like one that I went not sure if we were going to be able to get it.
Yeah.
And then she let me, so we did. So yeah, so this is Foundations of Rome.
And
but there was a someone posted a story. It was a really sweet story that they were I saw it on Twitter. It was a Twitter thread that they were at Gen Con and they wanted to be part of the cosplay. There's some like the LARPing thing, the live action role play. So they messaged the person in charge and they're like, "Hey, I have a baby. Can I like incorporate the baby into my costume?" And they wrote her a full character for this thing that not only incorporated the baby, but also like incorporated like the baby was a spy, like it acted and behaved like a baby, but it was actually a spy that when she needed to go do mommy baby things in her character, she was going to like gather information and then report back to the GM for the game. So it was so like just the person in charge of that whole event took that upon themselves to like not only say, yeah, you can wear a baby if you want, just make it work, but was like, hey, your baby is a spy. Like your baby is part of your character that you're playing. So when you go do the baby stuff and then come back and let me know what secret information that baby spy thing gave you and continue. So that was really, was a cool, that made me think of like, I don't know, I connected with that story. So
that's sweet.
So this was our first Gen Con.
This is our 4th convention we've been to.
A lot of people go to Gen Con.
Yeah, we started at PAX U last year, which was very it was a very good one to start out with, to dip your feet in, because it was not overwhelming. It was very laid back, very chill compared to what we just experienced.
Chris said to cosplay as Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Uh-oh. I don't know if we're
still. Are we still on? Can you hear us? Are we still going over there? We froze up.
We froze. We
froze up. We'll be back. We'll be back. It
still says we're live. Okay. Well, they can hear us. They just can't see us. So the camera must have turned off, babe. Hold on a second, you guys.
What?
The camera's turned off, babe.
Oh.
Hold on a second. The power flickered.
Hold on a second, you guys. The camera's turned off.
So you're going to hear me double because I was checking to see that.
What do you need, baby? Oh, that alarm thing.
Okay.
So we're back.
Yeah, we also have our dogs and kids here. No! Okay, let me show it, then you can take it. Here, toss it to me. All right, we went over to Fox Mine and got a couple things from Fox Mine. But then we also got, what are they called? Remind me. The Bubblios. So they had, normally they're all yellow. And so they had.
They're all rainbow colored.
No, the game is rainbow colored. Their mascot is just the yellow. And so they had blue and all kinds of. He wants to take his pink one with him.
Are we back?
We are.
Video's back.
Yep.
Did
you? No, you didn't.
I did.
Okay, so I got I took 2. I didn't want to take more because they were running low. So I got the green one for me because I always play green, and then Peyton loves pink, and so pink and purple, so I got him the pink one.
Yeah, Chris.
Ouch.
Chris said to cosplay as Thomas and Martha Wayne with the kids as Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. But correct me if I'm wrong, at any point in time when Batman, Robin, and Batgirl exist, Thomas and Martha Wayne are dead, are they not?
Spoilers!
Should I be a zombie? Is that what you're suggesting? If we don't do, Allison does not do zombies.
No, and
Allison went through a sick spell a few times in her life, and on one of those, I came home and she was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna watch The Walking Dead because I hear a lot of good stuff about it." I'm like, "But you don't like zombies." It's like, "It's okay. I think I want to try watching The Walking Dead." I came in, it was 2 days later, and she's like, "Hey, I finished The Walking Dead." I'm like, "Wow, that was really quick." She's like, "Oh, I skipped all the zombie stuff." So
they have a very distinct noise before they actually show them, and so it's we're gonna fast forward the zombies.
Yeah, so apparently every time she heard the zombie noise, she just click, 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 fast forward through that.
Luckily, I mean, if one person wasn't there anymore, I know they got bit, so the storyline caught up quick. It was easy to follow along, even without the zombies. Anyways. So
yeah, first experience.
So
with Gencon.
we drove there. It's supposed to be 9 hours. Took us about 11 with stops because I'm pregnant and have to pee like every hour. And construction.
Yep.
I drove most of the way.
Drove about halfway. I don't know.
I drove about 6 hours. But I realized at Origins, like day one, my voice was gone, and the same thing was happening here. Is like on Thursday, I was like, my voice is already going away. And I realized when I drive, I sing. I listen to my 80s and 90s.
She also sings when she mows the lawn, and she did not realize for the longest time that you could, from across the yard, hear her singing over the lawnmower. So I would hear
project.
Yes. So I would walk outside and hear the low hum of the lawnmower, the riding lawnmower, and just her
entertaining
our belting
neighbors.
out her 80s rock.
So I sing when I drive, and I was like, oh, that's why my voice is already going away. I just sang for 6 hours straight.
So I
need to not do that next time.
Let's get to some games. Should we talk? Do y'all want to hear about games?
Do you like games?
You want to get that bag out of the way before it falls over?
This was not a game.
So
This is because we played a game.
Yes, I emailed that to you, so I need to pull that up. This is from Hoplomachus to Shumbra.
This is from Chip Theory.
Because we saw that hold on, it's the hippopotamus. What's that game that we demoed?
I can't remember the name, but
Let me go to my sent mail
of the name
and find that email with the document in it.
Okay, well, what they gave us was really, really fun. We love coffee, like we do. It's very important. And we got the bones and coffee. They got licked. This is the caramel and nut, and this bones coffee. Yeah, caramel and nut, and then this is just the dark roast.
Hoplomachus Victorum. I wasn't that far off.
It's a solo game.
It is a solo, like, gladiator battling game. It's the new from Chip Theory.
Mats.
It's coming out this fall. It kickstarted last year. It is everything that you expect from Chip Theory. It is epic battles. It is like we got to demo a couple different versions of it, but we did this what's the dog with all the heads?
Where's Jared?
You know that somebody in chat. What's
wasn't
the
a dog.
I know it was a dragon, but what's the dragon with all the heads?
That's
somebody.
Why do I want to?
Somebody help me.
Somebody.
Anyway, you were fighting the dragon thing with all the heads, and every time you hit the dragon, 2 heads spawned. So, like, whenever you damaged it, you were creating more enemies, and like even to the point. Yes, the Hydra. We were fighting. Thank you, Allison. We were fighting the Hydra.
Hold on. Pause talking.
Cover up.
Does that help?
Oh, no.
He has troll hair, and it's green.
Yes. So this was our. Or it was I think it was a Hydra.
It was the Hydra.
Okay. So yeah, so you were fighting the Hydra, and anytime that you hit it, it spawned heads that have a lot of health, and then the Hydra runs away and the heads go to the corner of the stadium, But to the point that, like, even if you have someone who has a retaliate action where when they get hit, they hit back 1, you had to be careful not to put them where the Hydra could attack them, because if they retaliated, it would spawn 2 more heads. So yeah, it was, I'm excited about that game.
These are coasters that are chips.
They're big chips.
They're big
from
chips.
Chip Theory.
Chip
and
Theory.
then there's also a coaster that is a little neoprene mat stitched around the sides.
Theory.
So yeah, this was our goodie bag from that preview.
Yeah.
So these say Origins. I believe they were expecting to have these done by have the game done by Origins. Yeah, so that is a game that I am super excited about. They'll be promoting more this fall.
Lanyards.
We have video. We're going to do a separate, like, Gencon just games. We saw a video because we have a bunch of B-roll. We can't put B-roll and stuff in this live stream.
But we did take a lot of B-roll footage. So I'm trying to put these down here so I don't break them.
Yes, so
this coffee smells so good.
So the games that we're talking about now, we'll do a separate video.
Did you smell the caramel one?
Oh, goodness.
I know.
Delicious. I hate flavored coffee, but I like the way it smells.
Yeah, oh, but this is... I think we squeezed all of it out of this one.
So this one...
Pear-shaped.
This is Pear-shaped from Blue Orange. Peyton learned this and taught it to us this morning. I'm not going to open it up, but...
You just opened it.
No, I'm not going to open the pear. Like, there's a bunch of cards. You're matching cards on the table with either color or item. They have avocados and bowling pins. They have things that are pear-shaped, drops of water, things like that. And yeah.
I didn't get that. It makes sense now.
And you're trying to match. So you have to call, you can match the color, the thing, or the number of things on the card. And you have to call out what you're matching, and the next person can't match that. It's a real time, like there's no turns. But the timer, oh, it doesn't work.
It doesn't, you have to take the cards out.
Okay, here we go. The timer is the pear. It was fine. The base is really heavy. So yeah, so this is the timer, and when it stops, everyone has to point at the pear, and the last person to point at the pear gets to take the card.
But we need to really. We always forgot.
Yeah, Jared wasn't playing. He was eating his breakfast while Peyton taught us, and by the time we saw that it had stopped moving and pointed at it, he was like, "Yeah, it stopped moving like 30 seconons ago," and I was just waiting to see how long it took.
So we realized that it's like a spin the bottle if you leave the.
We just realized that.
No. Jared and I realized it this morning. He doesn't know what spin the bottle is, but I thought it was funny.
So did you talk about our hats?
No, let's talk about these other two games.
Did you talk about our hats already?
No, I haven't yet. I said I haven't.
We got Mythic Mischief hats from Ivy Studios.
Yes.
Allison rocked hers all the way home. Beautiful hat, nice thick stitching. Ivy Studios logo on the side. Yours looks cuter than mine. And it's the same hat. You look cuter than me.
Aww. I like these hats. Okay, so hold on. We got all the food stuff from Blue Orange. We got here, Museum Suspects is Blue Orange too, so why don't you pull that one out? Yep. Bag of chips. It reminds me of the new nacho game that Pandasaurus has. A lot of games are coming like the food.
Yeah, there's a lot of bag-based games.
Yeah, so good chips. You reach your hand in the bag to pull out, and I don't really know you're making matches and stuff like that. So we'll play
that was one that they sent home with us to take a look at.
We got burger ASAP. So I think you're making orders. You're building burgers. So there's that one. Those were all 3 from Blue Orange, and they were food-based.
Yes.
And then
this is a bluffing bidding game, I believe.
No. This is like Guess Who or what's the cat game?
It says investigate, bluff, and bet. So I'm guessing this is a bluffing bidding game.
That's not how it was described to me.
So it could be a little bit of both. Probably. I missed the pitch on this game.
I just heard it was like Guess Who, where you're detectives and you're trying to figure out who did it, and what. Who done it? There we go. Kind of like Guess Who.
Yeah. So these were from Blue Orange Games.
We've not done a whole lot with them, but
Jared and Pip, but we have a tutorial for
Block Nest.
Block Nest. That was a great game. So much fun. So just visually.
I'm warm.
Attractive game. You're taking off your hat.
Yeah.
So Too Many Cooks from Good Games Publishing. I got to play this with Kim from
I
Good
didn't
Games.
get to play it.
I got to play it at Gamma.
Mm-hmm.
So like the first night we were there, he pulled me and Devin to the side and pulled out a still like in card sleeves, 2 pieces of paper back to back to make it look like a full card. So it was a functionally finished but still a prototype game. And this is
difficult.
Yeah, it's similar to the Decorum from Floodgate. Similar in theory. Your cooks, you're trying to make a great soup base, but people have a bunch of different.
Decorum is a whole lot more.
Yes,
There's
decorum is
going
more
on.
in depth, but this what you're trying. People have different things that they like, so you're trying to meet everybody's wants and desires for the soup base, but everyone has to get it right. So you'll have one that maybe you want two red garlic cards in it, and someone else and there's some that are positional, like you want each row to have a red card, or only 2 rows to have a red card. It is all fully, you can get everyone's.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was
like
this
everyone's
is not
goals,
gonna, we're
but
not
yeah,
gonna be able to do this. And then like we were able to. There's a timer as well, and there's an app. There's not a timer in the box. There's an app that you can get. Or it's not an app. It's like a website that you go to click it, and there's like sounds and stuff like that. We ended up just using. Because we were doing it at the hotel in the morning with breakfast.
Yeah, we
just did a regular timer.
We played this at the hotel yesterday morning while we were waiting for IKEA to open, so we could
were
go
the
get our
first
first set of Kallax
We were
shelves.
the first one to get it.
Yeah, we were leaving. We swung by the Good Games booth to say bye to Kim, and he was like, "Hey, hold on, wait 20 minutes before you leave. Our package just got here. Like they had it air-shipped, and it didn't get there until Saturday afternoon. So it's like they're running it to us now. I want to give you a box, so hold on." So we did.
It's a side note. So everyone, you get these lovely little carabiners, and like if you're like me, I like adding all my pins and stuff I get and little beaners. But also, where is my mask? Anyways, because masks are a thing now, and when you go in and out or when you're eating, the best thing to do is put the ear things that you put around your mask. Put them around. This is big enough to where it won't fall off. Put your mask around this so you don't stick it in your pocket, stick it in your bag. It's always just right there accessible. I've done this the past 3 conventions that we've been to, and it's been awesome.
So all but one.
All but one.
So this is a promo window from Sagrada.
Ooh, it's the new Sagrada.
Yeah, the Sagrada Artisans that's coming to Kickstarter this fall. So this is just kind of a sneak peek at, you use Sagrada dice. But it's a cool little promo thing that they had because they
is color it.
Yeah, because they have limited, like even just for press, like limited copies of the game to send out. They had these for people to take, so they could kind of get a feel for. We have not done it yet.
It's a QR. He sent a lot so that we can do it a few times.
Yeah.
But what I'd like to do is do a live stream and see if Ian can send us the links for you to print this out and for you to play along with us. So we'll play it a couple times and then see if that's something that we can do live during the Kickstarter. That'd be a lot of fun to do. So that's why we have all those.
Yeah. And it is a legacy game. I think that's why it's going to Kickstarter, because it's not just an expansion to Sagrada. It's a legacy game. Now,
okay,
these are kind of...
I was talking about first day.
Yeah, so these are not technically Gencon haul. These came in the day before we left, so... But these were 2 huge games, like Acropolis, and we...
the line on Thursday for Acropolis at the Hachette booth was insane.
In the palm of your hand, I think they had that there also. They also had...
the
Turing machine was insane. The
now,
demand
we would
for that.
have that with us, but that's already being sent.
Yeah, there's we have a copy in the mail for that, so we didn't...
Turing machine that is Jared's cup of tea. He loves anything to do with coding. He's got his Turing Tumbler. He's got a how to play on that. So how to play what he just did solo, because he loves coding and anything and everything involved in that. So I am so excited to see. I'm going to be horrible at Turing machine. Or Turing, because that's what it's called, Turing machine.
Turing machine. But just the demand for that, So that was, and that's a good. But we included these because they got there right before, and they are 2 games that were. Especially Acropolis was being pushed heavily at Gen Con.
And this is like a tile, like you're building up and doing patterns. And then in the palm of your hand is a sweet, it's like you're putting things in your hand, palm of your hand. And there's photos out. Now, it's been a minute since, because she didn't describe this to me. I'm going from my Origins description. But so there's photos that you're laying out, and you close your eyes, and the person puts stuff in your hand and then takes it out, and you're supposed to say which photo that you think those would apply for the person to put in your hand. It's supposed to be really, really sweet. I'm really excited to play. I really think that this one will be a great one for over the holidays with family.
It seems like a really
very endearing,
kind of sentimental game.
Okay, so let's talk about...
So day 1...
Well, okay, we arrived on Wednesday evening, and we were able to go to the Yard House.
The Yard House, yes.
Is that what
the
it was
Yard
called?
House. Went there with Chris and a bunch of other friends.
People. Some people ended up leaving because it was like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah, we got a No, it was 45
It was 2
minutes
hours
to an
before we got
hour.
our food.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know. I'm pregnant and I was hungry, so
And
I counted.
the original reservation was for 15, and then it turned into 20, and then it turned into more than 20. So
and then people
some
left,
people
so it was
'cause
lower.
yeah.
And then, but that food was so good that we went the next night.
Yeah,
So,
and almost went the next night because we realized that Gencon is exhausting. And by the end of the day,
you
we
just
were
don't want to think about where
yeah.
you want to go. You just want to go to what you know.
So yeah, on Thursday night, we were supposed to go to dinner with some people.
You missed whole Thursday.
And we just went to dinner alone
Oh,
because
yeah.
Thursday was exhausting, which leads us into Gen Con day one, or Gen Con night one, after the after dinner, when we had to go and stand in the longest line I have ever
This
stood
was
in Wednesday night
before
to get
Gen Con actually started.
our vaccine bracelets. It was so
crazy.
long, and they kept turning you around. Like, we started and we went around, and then we went up here, and then the line doubled back around,
we could,
like on
high-five
itself.
the people that were ahead of us in line because our lines were crossing, and it was like all the way around the top.
And
of the
then we
convention
thought
center.
like, oh, cool, we're gonna round this corner because it's a rectangle, so we're gonna go around, and then we'll be ready to go in. Nope, it went to the other side of the convention hall. And then
but as long as that line was, and as many people that was in that line, it was the most efficient. Rarely did we just stand still.
Yeah, and they were even
very efficient.
It was fun to watch when we got into the room to get our vaccine things. They had just zigzag, like
it was like the airport.
Yeah, like the little pull stringy lines. So it was just a zigzag as tight as they could get it, and people weren't stopped. Like, they were constantly moving, and I have your vaccine card ready.
10 people checking.
And it was like, hold it out. They were watching
directing.
while you were moving, slapped a wristband on, and you were out the door. So
it was efficient. Even though we were in the line for an hour and a half, it could have been like 5 hours. Like, it was crazy.
So Thursday morning.
Now, I had been booked by 15 publishers.
She's a rock star.
To go to their booths during the opening of the convention to photograph, so that the staff didn't have to worry about taking photos, because every publisher, they want the action going on.
They want good demo photos, but they have
for that convention, and then also to advertise for the next convention, and just to have those really cool shots. And so I'm like, let me take that off your hands. I can do it for you.
Don't take it off their hands.
And so I did that for 15 different publishers. And I was like, look, I want to get all this done day one so that I can have a day and a half of just enjoying the convention. So I did it.
She did.
But I ended up only having 2 of my camera batteries, so I had to do halfway and then go in the hallway and pre-edit some of my photos while my battery's charged, and then go back in. So I did it back and forth. But before 24 hours, before day 1 or day 2 opening, they were all delivered, and I was done. I did my job.
She was incredible.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so I'm planning on doing that every convention, because I did have to turn people away. So I don't think that will be an issue booking.
So what was so we got in Thursday morning. We were able to get in because we were working with exhibitors. We were able to get in early so we could take early pictures of their booths. So we got into the hall prior to the doors opening, and I got to stand there and walk around in that surreal, like, calm before the storm. And then I got video of the doors opening.
I didn't even see a lot of the stuff that he videoed and the people that he saw on Thursday. I didn't even see. Like I mentioned on Saturday, I was like, oh, we haven't seen so and so and so and so, and he was like, yeah, I definitely haven't seen them. And I'm like, oh, you saw? I didn't get to see them. So I was really sad.
So we went in early. I got to see Maple Valley from Kids Table Board Gaming, and see the prototype for the new Endeavor Deep Sea, which we've never played Endeavor, but I was really excited. We were supposed to play that Friday night, and we were just too wiped out to stay up late.
You're not even going to put it on me?
Nope, I'm not going to put it on you. I was exhausted too. So Thursday we did that. We just experiencing those crowds. Like, we've been to Origins and PAX and Gamma, but Gamma wasn't the same. Gamma doesn't count. The crowds at this convention were insane. Like,
it was crazy. Friday by noon, I turned to him and I said, I am way overstimulated right now. I don't feel right. Like, I'm an introvert. I pretend that I'm an outrovert. That's the right word, right?
Extrovert.
There we go. works though. Introvert out, in, out. It works. Don't tell me it's not right. Okay. So I can pretend to be really outgoing and bubbly and stuff like that, but not pretend. I actually can be, and I am that way. But I need time to clamshell and recover before I'm able to do it again. Well, this is just, you're constantly hearing so much noise and so many people, and there's just a lot of strangers. So I by noon I
started taco. We have not done the gender reveal yet here, but if you jump over, we posted a video of it of sharing with everybody at Gen Con. So that's our latest non-live video. You can jump over and watch that.
That was posted right before this.
Yeah,
so you
like
jump over there and you can watch that. But yeah, so I was really peopled out, even though we had some meetings set, but like I felt almost out of body Friday afternoon. I was really tired. I mean, I am pregnant, so it was that like, okay, should I listen to my body and go sit down? Like, am I pushing my limit, or am I just uncomfortable?
Yeah.
And so we were supposed to hang out with Helena and Sean and a few other people afterwards and play the new Endeavor, because I was really, really wanting to play it, and I had to like white flag it and just be like, I'm not okay. So I need to go to the hotel. So we left
by like 6:30.
We got to the hotel about 6:30.
Yeah.
And I put on my pajamas
by 6:45
and went to sleep at 6:45. And he woke me up at like 8:30 and was like, "You gotta wash."
That was 10.
That was 10.
Yeah.
He was like, "You might want to like wash your face and like take a quick shower." And I was like, "Okay." So I like did that and then went back to sleep. Like I was basically asleep until our alarm went off Saturday morning. But I felt so much better Saturday morning. I was like,
Saturday
that's what I needed.
And Thursday was because
I just need to go into this with a different mindset, I think, next year.
And this was not like, well, let's give some substance to this Gen Con talking about. I am so excited for the publishers for this Gen Con. Like Gamma was, and we did the same, or not Gamma, Origins. Mm-hmm. We did the same photo package for publishers for Origins of just like taking pictures of your booth and all that. And like, we'll get pictures of your demo table and people at your store and doing that. And multiple times at Origins, we had to go, it wasn't we, it was you.
I had to stock their booths because they were empty.
Like go and come back, because there would be people demoing at a couple, but then these other games weren't. From the moment the doors opened at Gen Con, like we did some video for the op, and so I was over at the op booth to get just B-roll of them demoing games things, and as fast as it is humanly possible for a human to make it from the main doors over to this side of the convention hall to the op booth.
It's a giant convention
There
hall.
were butts in the seats. There were people buying games. There were
lines
every booth.
out the booth.
Yes, like it was insane. So by like multiple publishers.
By Friday, they were sold out of games.
But like they meter out their games. So they have their Thursday stock and their Friday stock and their Saturday stock, so that people who can't come till Saturday aren't going and it's like sold out. But they were selling out of their daily stock by like before lunch. And it was so exciting for the publishers, because with COVID and all, like we got into this just as part of this industry during COVID. So we had never experienced anything like Gen Con. We had never experienced a pre-COVID Gen Con. And there's a
downness with the publishers of, okay, is this going to be worth, especially with like Origins, is it going to be worth it to us to get the booth, to invest in the booth, to invest in the people, to invest in the time, to invest in the stock, there's a lot of behind the scenes of investing in time, and is this going to be worth it to do this? Because of the lack of numbers. So it was really, really cool to see these publishers sell out of their games and to turn people away and to have their demos book up.
And just to see the excitement around just all of these games. And it wasn't just the like 2 or 3 flagship games. Like everything was selling out. It was so fun to see just the energy. And again, at Origins, it was like there were people demoing games, but it was like publishers would have 4 or 5 tables at their booth, and there would be 3 tables with demos going on. And this was just every table was full.
There was even a couple that I wanted to go to, and the tables, like, as soon as the door opened and the tables filled up, and I didn't get a chance to demo the game.
Yeah. So,
Cat in the Box was one of those. I really wanted to demo that one. I want that game.
Yeah.
I didn't end up getting it.
So what
Hold on. Let's do a couple of these games really quick. Let's do Foxmine. So Manhattan.
So Foxmine is someone we have worked with, do a lot of photography with them.
They're actually the ones that started my Christmas ones.
So they gave us Manhattan. Don't know a whole lot about it. It is it's an older game. I think he said it first came out in like '96. There's no overhead camera, so
no, sure.
But it's area control. You're stacking, making buildings, trying to keep your color on top so that you can control the area.
It reminds me a little bit of Mountains on Molehills. Just because you're
kind of the opposite. You're building up and trying to control different areas.
So
that was one that
they redid the design.
This was the Spiel des Jahres in 1994.
Yeah.
That's not them.
No, here we go. This
Racing Hedgehogs is so. Look at these. This is a Reiner Knizia game. I believe this one was put out with a different theme.
Yeah, this is a pre, like, I think they only have 10 copies of the game.
So I want to show you this board because they showed us this game. JC over at Foxmine showed us this. It was like, it's a little racing game, and Foxmine does a lot of children's games. They do a lot of kids stuff. They do some family stuff too, but it's chunky little hedgehogs. That was my favorite thing about them. When you accidentally knock them, they just roll over onto their backs. Oh, they stand back up too. But it's a little board. Now, it is, and there's cards. So this is still in shrink wrap, but you have cards that are different colors, and they have feet on them, and that's how many you can move when you, like, each time. That's how many that color hedgehog will move. But it was such a strategic little kind of, because what you're doing.
And I was like, oh, okay, so it's like for toddlers.
Yeah, so you score based on the cards in your hand at the end of the game, and you score for those. So for the blue hedgehog, this card will score you wherever the blue hedgehog is. So you're trying to both play the cards to move the hedgehogs along.
But you don't score until one has made it.
You want to make sure you don't have your hedgehogs that you have a lot of in the -1. So whoever crosses the finish line first, the person that moves the hedgehog across the finish line gets 3 bonus points. But otherwise, you score for where your hedgehogs are based on the cards in your hand.
But say you have a lot of red cards, so you want to move the red hedgehog, but you have to spin those cards to get the hedgehog to move. So it's this, like, really interesting.
And then also being strategic to make sure that you're not. It was way more. Hold on. It was way more strategic than meets the eye.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really.
And that's where the Bubblios came from.
Do you have it's
right here. Yeah. Here's another one.
Match Madness
so if you've heard
Duo.
of Match Madness, it's where you've got these cubes and you're trying to complete and satisfy a card that's on there by moving the cubes around to create the shapes. Yeah, Match Madness Duo is hard.
It is.
We haven't opened this one yet.
You have
you've got a card.
They're not
here.
cubes. They're rectangles. Yeah. So it's 2 blocks wide, 1 block square. So it's and they just have little
designs on each side.
But it's just these little curved designs. Some have a full loop. So you're trying to recreate these really not really complex, but it's just lines.
It feels complex.
Yeah. It is, but and they said it's not uncommon for it to take 5 minutes and you only have 5 blocks. But it's not uncommon to take 5 minutes to finish the puzzle. So
this is
like
it's French and English. Okay.
Yeah, they're a Canadian.
Yes, but this is like, he was like, this one is more geared for adults and like teens, and so I'm really excited to play this with the boys. I mean, Peyton loves Match Madness, so he might be really, really good at that.
Here's another technicality.
Oh yeah,
Arcana Rising. We backed this on Kickstarter. It was like 2 years ago. It also got here like 2 days before Gen Con. So we brought it because they were selling this.
They did have them.
They were selling it at Gen Con. It's a really fun engine builder game. It's from Gray Fox Games. It's a really streamlined engine builder. I had only played it. I demoed it on TTS. And as soon as we got it, I read through the rules are not that long. It all came back. It's just a really nice streamlined kind of once you play a couple rounds or like make a couple moves, you get it, it clicks. It's a great little engine builder, spell casting, trying to gather resources. So Arcana Rising by Gray Fox. If you get the deluxe, it has little abacus score counters. nice foily box.
Or the really nice chips. In
Yeah, it
the
has the
regular
chips
one,
instead. No, those
deluxe?
are just the deluxe.
Okay,
so
yeah, they're like
regular
chip theory
are
chips.
cardboard.
Something else that Gray Fox had is they had Last Light at their booth,
Yes.
and Roy was there demoing his game. We got to play the game on TTS, and it was really, really cool. Like, so if those that were there that were able to check that out, I didn't actually get to demo the actual copy of it, but I got to go over and chat with Roy for a little bit and just express like how much we enjoyed.
Also got to meet Roy. Had not met him before.
I saw him quite a few times because he and I kept going into the same places when he wasn't at the Gray Fox booth or the Dice Tower booth. Yeah. We sent him to be at the same ones. And
Thursday, so we'll get to Thursday night because that's that. But like Thursday was an interesting day because we do cons together. Like we're
kind of just
we're a team.
Like
it was Thursday was weird because she was doing photography. We didn't know we were going to Gen Con for sure until like a week and a half before.
Because of my first trimester
first trimester was terrible.
Was just taking a long time to get like the nausea and the exhaustion stuff just was.
It was
not
just like
letting up.
Literally a week before. It was like if this is how you're going to be next week, we can't go.
Do this. Yeah.
So, but
me photographing at booths is how we funded the trip because we weren't helping.
And just it wouldn't have been fun.
Right.
Like, so
I need a drink.
So you can step up and drink me. So by the time we made the decision to go, a lot of the publisher meetings were already booked. So we weren't able to do the wall-to-wall meetings that we did at PAX and like that a lot of content creators did. So we went, and Thursday was an interesting.
I had a few meetings Thursday.
I had a few meetings Thursday, but I think we did a vlog that we did not vlog nearly as much as we intended to because one, it was so loud in there, and two, we were tired.
I'm still tired.
Yeah, but I described it on a little vlog that we did. It's like when you have two dogs and one of those dogs has to go to the vet for the day and the other dog just kind of wanders around aimlessly at home. Like I was that dog wandering around aimlessly at home because I was just there in the hall and she was off taking pictures like I don't have my teammate with me. So I was very out of my element because I'm very much introverted. So
He's more introverted than I am.
To be thrown into the hey go like cold pitch publishers, and they were also really busy at Origins and PAX. It was really easy if you didn't have a meeting to walk up to a booth and like
actually be able to sit down with someone.
Pick one of the 2 or 3 people that's not doing anything, and hope that one of them is like a marketing person and not just a booth volunteer. And this was not like I got a few like there were some opportunities for that, but all of the marketing people, again, so happy for them, but they were wall-to-wall meetings the entire time. I think Danny said that she had like 50 meetings over those 4 days.
She did end up demoing, you remember what that game was
called? I don't have it on my list, but it was a little party game.
But it was like a...
Yes, we did have a meeting with Bree. She was one of the few that we were able to book with and actually have a sit-down scheduled time.
Yes, we did. I was trying to think of what the name of that game was, but it's like a trivia game, and you were much better. We played it with T, and you were much better. Yeah. You were like, "Come on, you guys."
There's cards 1 through 14, and then you go through a bunch of other cards that have numbers of things, like how many strings on a guitar, or how many something and a something, and you're trying to match the numbers and hopefully get all of them right.
Pins,
and you'll have how many pins are in a.
And there was a Harry Potter question, and then so there's like the those type of trivias, and there's like food trivias or movie trivias and things like that.
Yep.
Grab Kites.
Kites
is a game that we actually demoed when we were at PAX.
As a not out yet, it's still
this game is a cooperative game.
I think it's still about to be pre-ordered. It's not fully available yet. They were selling it. Yeah, Bree said she had over 40 meetings.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you guys are super.
Y'all are rock stars.
Amazing. I'm surprised you're able to stand up at the end of this thing. It was crazy. Kites is a fun cooperative game. I love the logo of it. I think it's just genius having the line of the kite go through it. Yeah. Topography is a big deal with me, so I really like that. Yeah. Time to fly. So you've got cards that are the color kites, and you've got timers that
it's
are
a
the
real-time
same
game. It's a real-time cooperative game. Yeah, it's a bunch of different colored sand timers, and you have to play a card to flip a sand timer, and you're trying to go through the entire deck before any of them run out. If one of them runs out, one of your kites is crashed. So it's just a fast-paced, we had a blast. Really short real-time game. So yeah, lots of fun.
Okay. I don't know how much over here.
And then Thursday night, we got invited to the Castle Panic 2nd Edition release party. For anyone who has followed us for any amount of time, you know that Castle Panic is the game that got us into the hobby. Mm-hmm. So being able to have a relationship with Justin and Anne-Marie from Fireside Games has been like one of the highlights of this whole process for us.
They're amazing people, first off, and then they also are the designer, the designer of Castle Panic, which really allowed us to fall in love with modern board games. The fact that we could play together as a family and play against the board.
Yeah, we had never played a cooperative game before. We never, so
that really was like, this is fantastic, and got us looking into more games.
So this is not the deluxe version.
No, we are getting.
We are getting the deluxe version, but this is just this is what will be in retail. Mm-hmm. It's new artwork. The function of this box is the same with new artwork, but I think, as far as the cards play and everything, this is the same. It's just updated artwork, some more inclusive artwork, some more.
It's very inclusive. You got I can't remember which one is in a wheelchair.
Yeah, but just a more diverse set of characters on the cards, and then the Crowns and Quests expansion. We played with this. So with this, if you're familiar with Castle Panic, you know you have your circle of castles and the different things. Oh yeah, we also got these painted minis from being there. We were VIPs. That felt very special.
It was really cool. I'll take some photos and just a close-ups of these because these are fantastic.
So with the quests, everyone has a character, and you randomly pick a number 1 through 6, and you are tied to that castle segment. So if the castle segment that corresponds to your number is destroyed, you lose. You still get to play, but you lose your character's ability, and those abilities are very beneficial.
I need to play it more because I kept forgetting to utilize my character's ability, but it was a really good ability, and so I was like, and everyone had different ones. We got to play with Scott and Nicole. Nicole is a stay-at-home.
Yeah, for their stay-at-home moms review, stay-at-home mom from Sam
Scott,
reviews.
Brady is their last name,
and
he's Scott is the designer of Hughes and Q's, Boop.
Yes.
And then he's got a few other games, and then he's got one new one, Plink,
yes.
Plink, that he is pitching out, and we didn't actually get to play it, but we got to see it at Origins. Super and I'm
fun
so
game.
excited.
We talked about that in our live stream.
Great party game. Yeah. So that's who we got to play with, and so they've been in the industry for a long time too. So it's fun to play with them.
So the Crowns and Quests you add in addition to just your base Castle Panic functionality, where your like tower defense, your monsters and stuff are moving in from the woods. You also have quests, and this adds. So we played with one where you're putting. We have these little stone pieces that at the end of, like after you add them, or before you add the monsters to the board, you roll the dice to place these magical stones, and those go in. And those go in the forest ring, in the outer ring, not the forest ring, the first ring that you can affect.
The archer ring.
Yeah, and those become the new spawn point for that ring, and they also
because monsters get put out every round at the end of every person's round. So instead of them starting
Allison,
in the forest,
you need to play Castle Panic.
Oh, it is fantastic. Oh, and they have my first Castle Panic.
Yeah.
They have my first, which you can play with your little one, and it's so cute. Like. It's precious. I recommend that one. You can play that with your little one and then just move up as they grow into it.
So in that first quest, we had to destroy all the stones. And normally when you go through, your goal is to survive until all the monsters have gone through. But in this one,
survive meaning keep your castles and your turrets standing.
Have at least one castle section left.
It's something that he and I really like to play.
In this one, the stones, if you rolled a segment that already had a stone in it, the stone moved forward. Mm-hmm. And again, that is the new spawn point for monsters coming into that section of the map. So you did that, but once you destroyed all the stones, the second quest started. And this one, I don't remember what it was called, but there were these things that no more monsters came out, and these little bombs started in the outer ring, and they moved in.
Name? It's the big monster.
I don't
know. You keep talking, I'll find it.
But they moved in, and if you ever killed them, they just went back and reset. And in order to defeat that boss, you had to play different cards to his big quest card. So you were giving up archers and swordsmen and stuff.
Is it not on the back?
Like taking them out of your supply to defeat the boss. It was It was super. It was everything we love about Castle Panic, just on steroids.
It was hard.
It
We
was
did
hard.
not
We
win.
lost. No, we lost very
But
fast.
we were very, what is it?
Yeah.
Vigilant? Is that the right word?
Vigilant, yes.
Yes, we did very well towards the
We
end.
did our
we were
best.
so close.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited and so just proud. I mean,
Yeah.
I say that like, I mean, they're our friends now after all this, and I'm just such a proud friend to see what has come from this game.
And we're excited to get our full
yes
big box, which
with
will be
all
here.
the minis. I'm so excited. You want to put that over there on top of those stacks?
Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up loving the Goofy movie, like Yuck and all. Like I love the. Did you?
I did.
You watched
I was a
it?
big fan.
I watched it multiple times. Still do like the Leaning Tower of Cheese and all. Like I loved the Goofy movie. I just realized this is. Oh, it was upside down.
Uh-oh.
So Funko, they were one of the publishers, one of the mini publishers that I photographed for. They had the Goofy movie out. I don't know if this is for retail yet.
I believe it is.
Okay,
It
they
may
had
have been a
ton
Gen
of
Con
them
release,
there.
but yeah, it was. If it's not in
And
retail, it's coming very soon.
You're mapping out. You know that they're traveling to go see. I cannot remember his name, but the pop star that they're really wanting to see. So you're mapping. You're traveling across the map. I didn't actually have this demoed, but I was watching it be demoed. So it wasn't demoed to me, so I missed some stuff in it. But I'm such a huge fan. And on, I think it was Saturday night.
Yeah, they had the voice actor.
The voice
for
actors
Goofy
for
and
Goofy
Max.
and Max. And so for Tessa, it was the designer, I believe, of the game. I mean, there's probably more than one, but I know for Tessa was one of the designers. And so she posted that the voice actors signed her copy of the game, and then also filmed some of them talking, because they had that for an event where they were there talking with people. And it was just, as someone who grew up with the movie, it was so cool to hear these voice actors tell their stories. And I'm so glad that Tessa shared that, because I felt bad that I missed that. It would definitely have been something that I wanted to be part of. Yeah. And I mean, Funko has so many great games coming out. I know that, I think it's something window, crud.
I can't.
Bree's here. I think you grabbed it. It's like rear window or rear mirror. I cannot remember what the name is called.
Do you know of a game from Funko about a window or a mirror?
But that one, a lot of people are excited about. I just saw it being played. I didn't actually get it demoed, and I don't know a lot about it, but a lot of people are excited about it. I believe it's a deduction game, where you're trying to figure out who done it.
Rear window.
I was close. Rear window. Thank you. That one, a lot of people are excited about. Like I said, didn't hear much about it, but there's some hype. And then obviously the legend or the legacy game, the dinosaur,
the Jurassic Park legacy game. That one's coming out this fall.
They did have some for sale there that a few people picked up, but I didn't. I saw
limited,
people carrying it, but I didn't actually see any in stock. I think they sold out.
So that's coming to retail this fall after the Kickstarter fulfills.
And they had another Disney game, really cutesy style game. I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, it's based on a Hitchcock film. The Rear Window is.
Yeah, that's what it is. And so he asked which ones we were going to grab a couple games. He's sending us some marble balls.
Yeah.
And
we're going to be doing a playthrough, I think, of their Disney. I'm blanking on it.
It's tour tired.
Yeah. They have a new Disney game with the little squatty, the little chibi.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute. So we'll be doing a playthrough of that, and so we also grabbed Big Thunder Mountain for the boys, because they love the
Fireball Island.
Fireball Island. Thank you. And you've got this big mountain is actually on the
big
board.
3D mountain.
And you've got marbles and so we were like that's one that the boys would really, really like. So we grabbed that for them. I'd never been on the roller coaster.
No, we didn't get to go on it when we went to Disney World.
No.
So, is it a Disney World or Disneyland? I don't remember, but either way, we didn't go on it.
So on was it Saturday morning that we saw T?
No, on Friday. That was Friday morning.
That was Friday morning? Okay, Friday morning, that's when we were over at Hachette, and we were playing that game with Danny and T. And so T and I the three of us were walking. Are you just going to go with it? Mm-hmm. And they're like, hey, let's go over to what was it, Miniature Market?
Yeah, it was Miniature Market. I kept seeing Twilight Inscription, which is a roll and write version of Twilight Imperium. It's a Twilight Imperium roll and write. It's not the full 4X experience, but it's about a 2 hour.
2 hours.
Yeah. It's 90 to 120 minutes when you know how to play. So
you gotta learn it.
They're like, hey, they have like 16 copies for sale this morning. If you want one, you should go get in line now.
And we were there before the doors opened, so we were walking around talking with people before the doors open. And so Dana was like, I think we really need to do this.
Let's go mosey on over there and see if there's less than 16 people in line.
And I think we were 7 behind, like we were 7th in line. And oh my goodness, these poor miniature marker workers, they must have been just traumatized.
Yeah, so we were standing in line, and the same situation Thursday. They spaced out how much they had for each morning. This very kind lady comes up to us. Sweet. She was walking down, and she was like, hey, are you here for Twilight Inscription? We're like, yes. She's like, okay. As soon as the doors open, we're going to let you in. We're going to send you down the center aisle. Walk straight down the center aisle.
Put your hands out.
Do not touch the game. Do not reach for the game. Do not attempt to grab the game. It will be placed in your hand when it's time. It will be placed in your hands.
Don't touch the game.
Then the doors, then they started going through, and like she was there at the beginning of the little aisle just to remind people, don't grab for the game. Don't reach for it.
The day before, there were people like crawling on the floor trying to grab the game.
Reaching around the corner. Because this is another one of those that they had daily stock for it. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't a large stack of this. Doesn't come out till later this fall, but they had limited numbers available at Gencon. It's first of all,
it's massive. It's just a game. Yes, it's a game that we wanted, but it's just a game. You need to put people first.
Yeah,
even if you really want to be courteous and be good humans, that was not okay that happened to them.
They seemed a little traumatized.
They were, I was like, I feel like I need to hug them because it was. But we did get a copy of it.
So I am trying to.
We were both
get her,
in line, and they were like, it's just one. I was like, yeah, it's just one. And teacher and she's like, or they were like, there's 2 of you. You can get 2 if you want.
Because Roberto had asked me to grab him one.
He did end up getting one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I saw that he got one in his haul.
So I pitched the idea because we want to do a 135 of this.
Mm-hmm.
And Allison, you may be able to pose some social pressure right now. I would really like to, because we just bug bombed our house, so we have to be out. I need to go home and turn the attic fan on for a few minutes, and then we need to be out for another 2 or 3 hours.
If you have dogs, that's not cool.
So we have to be out of the house for the rest of the afternoon and some of the evening. So I'm trying to convince her to do a live stream learning this game.
I've already yawned like 7 times during this live stream.
It doesn't have to be like energetic, because we're going to be learning a roll and write that takes 2 hours and has 4
you got me a regular,
very in-depth boards.
Coat.
Yeah, I did.
So I've already had my caffeine for the day.
That's okay. So I can get you some tea.
Some tea.
So we may or may not be doing a live stream of this following this one. Yeah, and the fleas are like they're isolated to our laundry room where the dogs sleep. But
but the dogs weren't even there while we were gone. No. So it's like I
don't know what happened. They were way worse. Like we have land.
We have dogs and we have
property. We have fleas that we fight constantly, but not like what we came home to.
Crazy.
I figured they'd be better because they had no hosts while we were gone. But apparently not.
Don't like it, so we bombed the house right away.
Yeah. So leave a comment if you would like to see us play this and learn it. It's not going to be an energetic playthrough because we're going to have to learn it, but they do have
but we do want to actually do a full playthrough
and a full 135. Yeah, I would love to do a play the game of this one. So what they have is a
you're just gonna I'll let you sit with your
they have what we will do when we do our playthrough in like an hour is they have a play as you learn, so it walks you through the first few turns. You're just not paying attention at all.
No, I'm looking at comments.
So they walk you through the first few turns, and then it even says like you're not going to understand the significance of your choices the first few turns, but once you get it. So I would like to do that. We'll see how our energy is in an hour. But we love roll and writes. So the heaviest roll and write we've played is Hadrian's Wall,
which broke his brain.
Yeah, so I really like the idea, which is also a 2-hour roll and write.
Was it 2 hours?
Yeah, it's about an hour to 2 hours.
About 90 minutes.
Yeah. Well, this one only takes 90 minutes to 120 minutes once you know how to play. So
I really love roll and writes, so this one looks intimidating, but I want to play Twilight Imperium, but I mean, my poor Tushy, I don't think it could sit for that long to play a game.
Hadrian's Wall has averaged an hour and a half, 2 hours when we've played
I know,
it.
I think you're wrong.
At least an hour to an hour and a half. I'd say 90 minutes. I don't know. Go watch our 135 in its entirety. We say each time what each playtime is. But it's a long one. So yeah, we will probably later this afternoon be doing a live stream of Twilight Inscription.
If we're not doing a live stream, I would like to still learn it.
Yes.
But I don't know if I can do it
because we do want to do a 135 of this. So we'll see.
So another publisher that I've really wanted to connect with for the last few years, I've sent them multiple emails, is Genius Games. As a homeschool mom, a game schooling mom, I love the products that they put out. I love the games and just the tools that they put out for learning. And so we were able to connect with them really short. And so we're going to be following up and hopefully work together with them. But they gave us Cellulose, which the boys are really excited about. They've already opened it this morning and was looking through it. Our boys love learning, which is fantastic. So what they could play while they learn, it's even better. And so they're really excited about this. There's also, what was the other one that we really wanted? Not Cellulose.
Mitosis.
They have Geotype. They have, and the puzzles they have are insane.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where they were like, and just as they didn't have a lot of stock, and so we were very careful about what we specifically asked for, because like I said, we are very supportive of these publishers selling out, and we don't want to take a review copy of something that I could actually sell, because yes, they get content on it, but I would rather that family go off with that game. So this one, they had done an event the night before, and they had opened 20 of them for that event, so they couldn't sell them because they were going to sell at a discounted price. So we got this. This is again, we're really excited. I hope that we get to do a lot with Genius Games, because it really just fits our mission of just educate. Like, there's the hobby side, and the hobby side we love, and we love heavy games, but this is something that just, when you can take play and games and make them educational and learn from them, it's really awesome. So it's a beautiful marrying of those. Yes. Another game that is kind of a that was gonna be this one. It actually story with this one. I was photographing the event for the op, and they had different games out in their play tables. And Avatar: Rise of Fire Nation, Avatar The Last Airbender, Fire Nation Rising. They didn't have any for the first day. No, for the first morning. Did they ever have any of these to sell? Not to sell. No, they got just 3 in just a demo. Yeah. And so I knew, I was like, well, I'm not going to get one of those because they only have those to demo. Yeah. But so they did have some for some people to play, and then this was at our doorstep when we arrived home Sunday. Yes, so we're doing content on this. We'll be doing a tutorial for this. If you like the Rising series, they've got, if you played Thanos Rising, SpongeBob, or Batman Rising, and there's a Harry Potter. There's the Batman Who Laughs Rising. Ooh, there's a Harry Potter. There's a Star Wars Rising. So it's that same. Our boys love Avatar. It's it's a very similar engine. Your dice pool kind of trying to. But it is thematic with what those characters can do and how they work together and things like that. So it is a cooperative game. They do a good job of taking a system and modifying it to keep it on theme with the different IP, characters. Yeah. So this one technically not a Gencon haul, but it did get to our house during Gencon. So, and they had them to demo at Gencon. Yeah. So I'm be doing photos for them for this, and then we are doing a tutorial. This will be coming out this fall, so keep an eye out for that. I think we're wanting to film the tutorial this week. Yeah. So then we have Fjords. This is Beth Sobel's artwork. Don't know much about this one. This is one that was sent with us specifically for us to take a look at. This is from Colossal. This is from Grail Games and Colossal. So yeah, it's a beautiful game. I can't tell you much about this one. No, I took pictures of people playing the game, but I did not. This was one of their first ones to sell out at the convention. Was it? I didn't hear that. Yeah, this is one that was. If they didn't sell out, they got very close. It was a very popular one from their booth. I feel bad taking one of them. Matt wanted to send us home with a game. Matt is a fantastic human being. Yeah. And he is the American side of. It's Phil Walker Harding. That's who designed it. Oh, okay, cool. Of Colossal Games. So they have a lot of great games. They're Canadian based. So yeah. So that's Fjords. Then we have the spill from Smirk and Dagger / Smirk and Laughter. So this is one that this is one I've been watching come up from. I remember Kurt, who is the owner of Smirk and Dagger, seeing him post pictures on Twitter, Instagram, or wherever he posted it, of this like crude 3D printed model of this tower right here, trying to figure out how to print it and how to design it so that it is a truly random like dice placement. So it was a
dice tower.
It was like cardboard kind of foam core board, truly a from prototype through
we saw it at PAX. We saw it at PAX as the prototype, and then
each time it's been a little bit more finished, and then at Origins it was finally they had production stuff. They kickstarted
this.
Yes. So this one is it's an oil spill. You're trying to save the animals, but also stop the oil spill. There's a lot of push and pull and tension between saving animals and also stopping the oil. There is a whole entire Common Core curriculum built
that is so cool
to go through with this game, that goes through as you play this you can learn, and he's even had people reach out, he said, from like oil spill cleanup like collaborative groups to just
have played it, and they said that they were were very pleasantly surprised with the tension that you were able to capture in this game is something that they experience as their job in cleaning up oil spills and the preserving of the animals and the stuff. Like they said that the way they were able to capture that in a game was very impressive, and so that was really cool to hear. But there's also like you've got these boards here that you need it like it just there's a lot more involved than just like rolling the dice and stopping it. There's more involved.
And I felt so bad for Kurt because of Boop. They were supposed to have Boop at Gencon.
I have a Boop pin.
Like he was prepared to airship them.
Okay, so if you like Shobu, and that's like you've got the 4 wooden boards with the black and white stones, where it's a 2-player game and you move one and it does stuff to the other one and things like that. If you're a fan of that, which we really are, Boop is that same type of movement mechanic, but your kitten's on a bed and you're moving around, and if you're able to complete certain objective, your cat grows up into your kitten grows up into a cat, and then you can move different ways, and it's really, really sweet, and I love that it's about cats and kittens, and it's called Boop because cats poop.
Yep. So that has been, there's so much hype for that. Yeah. There's so much hype for that game. They were on track to have it at Gen Con, and then just with manufacturing stuff, it got delayed. So I think he said it is going to come off the line on the 22nd. So
that
just
wasn't sad for them for that. Yeah. But we did get to we did get to try out, but the Tesseract game.
Yeah, the Tesseract game is a really we'll do another video to show these. Yeah, I got some B-roll of it, but really cool, like cooperative, but have to work together, have to think through not only your move but the other players' moves.
The Tesseract.
You're trying to prove that that humanity is sentient enough to solve these problems before the aliens just treat you like a little ant.
And you have an hour.
Yeah, so you have to finish not real time, an hour in theme, not in. It's but not it actually,
he said it plays roughly in 60 minutes.
So you have this giant cube of dice that are all pieced together.
This Tesseract has over the last week has gotten smaller, and so now it's at this size, and you've got to stop it.
Yeah, it's really cool. So you're taking dice and placing dice, but the dice you take is based on their level on the Tesseract, and then if you run out too fast or you get through a whole column of them, it triggers other things. So seems like it's going to be a really fun, again, a very
now we say Tesseract, and I know that Tesseract is when people think Tesseract, they think Marvel. It is not a Marvel IP, but the idea of what the Tesseract is there, but it is not Marvel themed. You're a scientist not involved with the Marvel IP. Yeah. But that doesn't take away from what I really liked about the game, because I know what the Tesseract is. So that was really cool.
They also have coming out an RPG party game from Smirk and Dagger.
Was that the secret one?
It wasn't a secret one. It was just.
Oh yeah, he said you could share
it. Has all.
But,
It's We
but
didn't take pictures because it's all borrowed art. Like
you can share this, but the art is all borrowed.
Yeah. So
that's what it was.
But it's an RPG party game. You are given basically a scenario, and so the dragon has come in. You get if I remember right, you have two weapons to choose from. Like you draw 2 random. It gives you a scenario. So the dragon has come in. It's attacking the village, and you're going to attack it with and take the weapon. And then
you're the DM, but I can't remember what it stood for. Something different than Dungeon Master.
But then behind your little screen, you roll a d20, and you have a 20 is an epic success, a 10 is barely succeeded, a 9 is barely failed, and a 1 is failed spectacularly. So you are the only one that knows what that is. So then once you roll and it's in secret, then you describe what happened. You describe the story without saying. So you know if they succeeded or failed, but you have to tell this story about. And
the DM is able to ask one question.
Yes. Yeah, they're able to ask one question to give you to get more information, but then everyone else has a little screen and they also have a d20.
And so they're guessing what you rolled.
They're guessing what you rolled also behind their little screen. They can't say anything. There's only one person that can say something, and that's all they can say is that one. They get to ask that question. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to guess based on their narrative of what happened.
I think he got it when we played. Kurt got, because I was the one that
yours was 13. I guessed it was an 11.
Yeah, he guessed it was 14.
Yeah,
I think.
So something happens. Yeah, if you're within 1, something happens if you get it exact.
Different points and things like that. So it was really
but
interesting.
Then
it was a rough prototype.
But then the dragon, that dragon goes on to continue to cause chaos. So the next person gets their 2 weapons. They roll their dice and they describe what happened. But it's all the fun and the imagination of an RPG. Like you still have to come up with and tell your story, but it's just in a party group setting that goes around really quick, and you're not expected to give a long telling of the tale. It's just a quick,
and I'm not good at on my feet well, thanks. I'm not good on my feet with creating the storyline like that. I
don't know what I was saying no to. It was just a response.
And so when I was explaining kind of what happened when I rolled, I was like, sorry, I'm not more elaborate. He was like, no, that was enough. Yeah. That's okay. And so it didn't make me feel like I needed to be super thoughtful, elaborate of what happened with my role, because that's not, if I get into character, I'm able to do that a little bit more when we play RPGs, but on the spot in the middle of Gencon with all of the stuff going on, it was really hard for me to get into character. But he was like, that's all you need.
That one's going to be fun to see for when you do get other people in, especially the spectacular success will be fun, but watching people try to describe tripping over their shoelaces and dropping their sword.
You're rolling, and yes, you want to continue on, you want to win, but it's that fun of
even
letting people be okay, I think I know what's going on.
But the spectacular success isn't I killed the dragon and the game's over. It's just I did really good. And that kind of, you carry that on through the rest of the game. So now it was you rolled a 20. It was a spectacular success. The dragon is much weaker now.
I think it died.
Carry that. No, because he said that you would go on and you're continuing to fight the dragon. And there's more to the narrative. Yeah.
I stopped it enough. I got a few stabs in because I think I chose... I think I had a hammer and then I had 2 knives, and so I chose the knives.
You kept the daggers.
The daggers.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last game that we have, I think is this their last game?
So far, yeah.
It looks like 2 games. This is for the boys, but it's also, they love, what is it? The
coconuts and barrier battles.
This is if you know barrier battles, I've taken photos and we've done a little bit of content for them. They sent us barrier battles, and that's just blocks with checkers little pieces that you build each. You've got it's a 2-player game, and you're building your own battle or your castle and setting your people on. You've got a king, and then you're just flicking your people to try to knock off their king and knock their king to the floor. That is barrier battles. Coconuts is your monkeys. There's cups in the middle, and you've got coconuts, and your monkey's holding. You put the coconut in the middle, and you pull the monkey's hands down, and they flip it backwards. And you're wanting to get your coconut into one of the cups, and you get points for different colors of cups and how many and whatnot. So with Catapult Feud, it is, you think, build your castle. You've got your characters, but then you also have, with this one, you have a catapult, and with this one, you have a ballista. Ballista? Let's say ballista.
You have a big thing that shoots spears.
Yeah. So and this one has female characters and this one has male characters. They want it because of the way they kickstarted. They had to do it separate. They eventually want to combine it and let you do all of it.
Yeah.
But we also have a mat that goes along with this one.
Yeah.
And that's just an add-on. And then we have special cards and dice that add something else that we have not played yet.
But this is a super like tactile game. This just goes in it's just to build your castle in the squares. So yeah, so it's a really fun you would play on either end of this whole table. So it's a large. It's not a little up close game. It's a large play across the table.
If you're worried like I am about I'm behind here and they're flinging these things at me, they're soft plastic.
They're rubber.
They're like rubber. Yeah. So they won't. They said
they started out hard plastic and then they changed that because
they had like broken glasses. Yeah. So they're like, that's not gonna work. Yeah. So they corrected. They course corrected for that one. Yeah. My voice is starting to go away.
Yeah. So now that is what we brought home with us. We've touched on some of the games that we saw when we were there, but now we need to talk about what we saw at Gencon that we were excited about.
Okay, let me talk about a game that I really was excited about and didn't get to play, and I'm super bummed. And it's a CGE. It's a new CGE game called Captain's.
Can I step out really quick while you talk about this?
I don't know much about it.
Okay.
I think it's Starship Captains. I don't know much about it. I really wanted to hear more about it, and then I didn't. There was a few other games that I was really interested in, and then I wrote a list out and then left the list in the hotel room. So I had like a list of 50 games that I prioritized and everything and totally forgot what they were. There is one by Flat Out Games, their newest one. They're going to go to Kickstarter, I think, third quarter, possibly fourth quarter. Can't remember what she said. And that's called Fit to Print. And if you like Flat Out Games, they've got Calico and a few Cascadia, just those puzzly type of games. And this Fit to Print is just that same kind of puzzly. And we will do in our other video that's more edited, we will have B-roll of that so you can actually see what I'm talking about. But Fit to Print, you are planning out, from what I understand, it was a really short time that we had with her because we were just walking through. You are planning out your newspaper article print, placing your articles and trying to plan that out. So you've got these polyomino shapes of articles that you're trying to place perfectly on your newspaper before you print it. So it has to fit to print. Ergo the name. And it's got animals that are the printers and things like that. So it's so adorable. And I'm really excited about that one. So hopefully we'll be able to create some content for that for their Kickstarter. If not, either way, I'm going to be backing that game because it's just so adorable. Did you bring me food? No, you brought me drink. That's cool too. See what other, I'm having a brain fart. Do you have your list? Oh, it's right in front of me. Okay, we already talked about Turing Machine, Endeavor of Deep Sea, Maple Valley, Bigfoot, the Bigfoot Roll and Smash. That one's coming from XYZ, and they had a giant. They had the original Bigfoot truck. Like when you go to the Bigfoot shows. It was the original one, and it was so big, and so it was really, really cool. So we'll show. Did you get? Over. I know. I don't. Where's the thing that goes?
It's over here. So it's just hot. It's just hot lemonade. We didn't have any lemonade. It's like hot lemon water. We had a lemonade packet, so I put some in there with hot water for your throat.
Thank you.
Because all we had was a cinnamon apple spice tea, and I didn't think you wanted that.
Cinnamon apple.
Yeah. So I saw Follow the Mountain King, the Kickstarter version, and the retail.
I was talking about the Bigfoot one.
I know, but you skipped down Follow the Mountain King as the first one on there.
Okay. Follow the Mountain King is a fantastic game.
We still have the prototype on our shelf because they didn't ask for it back after we did a playthrough of it. No, it's at home.
Oh, is it at home?
That game is fantastic.
We did a lot of coverage on it last fall when they did Kickstarter because of how much.
Spring, yeah.
Was it last spring? Yes, oh my gosh.
The Kickstarter version looks incredible. It's got foil lettering on the box.
Sorry, Allison, yes, it's by the same designer as Tiny Town. Yeah. Yes, Fit to Print is.
The little miniatures are amazing. The little gnome hordes are amazing. Everything about that game is fantastic.
That's sweet.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
I tried. I did what I could.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I didn't want to just bring you hot water.
That's true.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah,
this too.
But yeah, the The production of that game is incredible. The colors on the board are just so vivid. I am so excited to get that game and play it again. Even though it plays the same, we do, but we have wooden cubes.
That's true. They're gonna have like the actual trolls and all the stuff like where you can put because you do different. Whoa. You do different. Oh no, this is wet. Where's my coaster?
Oh, you got
one. So yeah, you got, and same with, okay. So yeah, we're really pumped about that game. They had them for sale there, correct?
The Fall of the Mountain King?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Had some for sale.
They sold out of that. Mm-hmm. Not surprising.
Not at all surprising. Something else that they sold out of was the
Power Plants?
Power Plants, which is
looks incredible. Like we've played it. We also have
we have the prototype. It's over
prototype of that over there. But the little sprites, all the little custom custom meeple sprites look incredible.
And the tiles.
Yeah, the tiles are kind of a swirly cut that interlock. The ones that we have from the prototype are all hexagons.
Which those are fine too, but these actually lock in, and it's just the production quality is just fantastic. So that with the Maple Valley.
So we got these for the boys because they are constantly cutting off big pieces of butcher paper,
all of my paper,
and just writing, like doing crude.
They're taking
like
my print
grids,
paper and taping them together for their boards because they are game designers at heart.
So we got them these. Their rolls are basically wrapping paper with grids and hexagons printed on them in 4 different colors so that they can use those for their game design.
We also got them there at the table at home. And they're 4. It's a pack of 4. About
I don't even know what you're talking
about. The other one was the dry erase.
Oh yeah, the interlocking. They're 8.5 by 11.
Are they?
Yeah.
Where they interlock, they're like puzzle pieces. So there's 4 of those. One side is grid and one side is hexagon for them to dry erase and have a crude idea of the design before they start cutting these out because that is reusable. And so we got that for them as well. These 2 boys are always designing a game. As soon as they play a game, they have another idea of how to utilize the mechanics to create something different. I love the way they think, but I also need my paper.
Yes.
So we got that for them. They're really excited about it. We also got them, we found them. They sent us on a mission for Pokemon cards.
Yes. So we went up to every booth selling Pokemon cards, and I pulled up my text messages.
I was like, do you have these?
Here's I need these. So we found them. We found the Pokemon cards.
We got 2 each for them. They were so thrilled and excited. Yep. We also got them because they have their Pokemon in a book where they've got the binder. The binder, and they've got the pages of them. They also really love playing with their friends, their neighborhood. So they have to pull out their decks every time. So we got them a deck holder box, really nice leather. It's magnet, so it opens up, and on the top it's got a drawer for their coins and stuff like that in it. So they're really excited. Yeah. So that was something else we got for them.
So Bigfoot Roll and Smash, I got to play
from XYZ Games.
Yeah, that is the most complete version I played. They said it's probably about 95% done. They have a little bit of a change on the molds to get them a little bit tighter, but
if you like coding,
it's a coding game. I have been seeing that game since PAX, and it just never clicked that it was a coding game. Like you're
planning out your movement. Programming, that's what it is. You're planning out your movement.
You have the big Bigfoot arena, or the big monster truck arena. You're putting out things that some want you to jump over them, some want you to go on top of them, some you need to go next to, some you need to drive through, and you're trying to program your moves to make your monster truck go. But the dice they find the final dice here. Every other dice that I've used for this game to demo it have been a hard 3D printed dice. They are squishy rubber
actually
tires.
Have Goodyear on the side.
Yeah, they got permission to put Goodyear on the side of them.
Is
or
the
Firestone.
Sponsor.
Yeah, I think it's Firestone. But it's got an actual, not fake, an actual tire.
Because they're the sponsors of the Monster Truck Rallies.
Yeah, but they are you roll the wheels, and they have all the different things on. They're 8-sided dice, so you roll them. They They do not want to follow, they incredibly don't want to fall over. They do every once in a while, but they took all 4 of them in their hands and rolled them across the floor of the expo hall, and they would just go 20 feet and stop and not fall over. They are.
Now, you can do that on a normal table. And
normally you would, the way they suggest you do it is set them all 4 and roll them like that. So you're and make the noise because you're a monster truck. So you got to, and you got to roll them like that, but you set them in a monster truck orientation and roll them. That game is going to be incredible.
I'm really excited.
I am too. now that I've actually played, again, I was a little bit on the, like, it looks cool, but it also, because I didn't understand how it actually played, and now I do. And I've played it, and now I'm really excited to actually play it again. We're trying to organize with XYZ to have the 2 original drivers, the husband-wife team that drives Bigfoot, come in and do a playthrough with us. So
Here, that would be
fingers crossed that will happen this fall.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Another one, Dune Imperium Immortality, and that is coming from, come on.
No, that's not Simon. That's Direwolf now.
That's Direwolf.
Yes.
Oh.
So that's what Direwolf, it was.
Were those not the ones I took many pictures of?
No, that was the Dune War for Arrakis.
Oh.
Yeah, Dune Imperium Immortality is an expansion. It's an expansion for Dune Imperium. I don't remember anything about it. Marshall told me about it. I have it on a video somewhere where I videoed that demo. It's another expansion for Dune Imperium. It looks beautiful. But yeah, that's now just Direwolf. Dune was with Renegade, I believe.
I think that sounds right.
But now it's just Direwolf.
Okay, so Tim Eisner.
No, not Renegade. It was someone else.
Tim Eisner has some great games. Canopy. He's got the.
He's the designer of Tidal Blades.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wonderland's War and Canopy, which everyone likes. So he came out with another game called Leaf. Yes. I saw him demoing it. I didn't actually just stop and listen to it, but I think you did.
Yes, I did. That was poorly timed.
Sorry.
I thought you were going to talk longer. So Leaf is it's a beautiful little spatial puzzle. It has all these different leaves of different sizes and shapes that you are trying to connect, and where you get them to the tips of the leaves to touch the tips of other leaves.
So it's like different kind of, like you got your maple, you've got your...
I think they're all similar in the number of...
Points?
Yeah, it's leaf, not leaves.
Leaf.
But yeah, where the points of the leaves touch, you activate abilities. There's other things to it. Again, this was on Thursday. So
this was the day that we were separated and he was wandering around puppy.
Yes. And also I have slept multiple times between now and then. But it's just a gorgeous little spatial puzzle. He said that he worked for a long time to get...
He's worked for years on it.
Yeah, to get the shapes to work out. He said they were based on hexagons, but you would never know that from looking at it. Like, he did a fantastic job of, and it's still all hand cut. It was not final, like, production quality. They were hand cut prototypes, but you would not know from looking at them.
From the distance, it looked really good.
And it was obviously a very far along prototype, but you would never know that these were based on hexagons. It just looks like a pile of leaves on the ground.
Hence the name.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful puzzle game. So I'm excited to play that one some more.
Okay, so Good Games Publishing, Kim, which is a person that he just is a fantastic human being. They have Good Games Publishing has the Unfair, Funfair, Land vs. Sea, which we love. The Too Many Cooks that we talked about. The game. What's the butterfly game? That card.
I don't remember.
Sweet little card game. Okay, so he was like, "Come on, sit down. I got something to show you." Daniel, that's my fidget.
My top game of the convention is Drift.
It's called Drift.
Yes.
It is an actual racing game.
It is an actual...
Don't think about the racing games you've heard before. You've played before. This is an actual
It is the most mechanically racing game that I have ever seen. So you have your cars, you have this big, and it's a modular racetrack because you're not going through spaces. You're actually racing around an actual track. So it was the one they had there was a figure 8, but it was like...
Kind of.
It was a figure 8, but it was a big loop and a little loop. Mm-hmm. But you start off at the starting line. You start off in first gear. You can shift. You get 5 players. Yeah, you get 5 moves per
round
per turn. And you have different tiles of different lengths based on which gear you're in. So the higher the gear, the faster you're going. But the tiles lock together and they pivot. And the higher the gear, the less they pivot, because when you're going faster, you can't move as much. So you have to upshift and downshift. So you get on the straightaway and you throw it into 5th gear and you use these long pieces, but then you have to downshift before you get to the turn, or else you're going to fly off and go into the grass and get penalized. But then you have drift tiles. So you can downshift into 2nd and start to drift you have to play an emergency brake tile and you start to drift into the turn. And if you get like the tip of the drift tile into the edge of the board, you get points, which are tracked on this super cool like tachometer, speedometer
so cool
thing. And then you can spend those tiles to speed shift, where you jump over a gear. So you can go from second to fourth. You can skip a gear either up or down. But just, it is mechanically racing, because you're going, like as you go around the turn, your car is where it is on the next player's turn. So as you go around the turn, you can block people from the inside where they may have to spend or take a penalty to go in the grass if they want to go inside, or you can, like, it's just mechanically.
Now, something he has not mentioned in this isn't just like a little meeple car or a tile car. Think Matchbox car. It's a little smaller.
It's a little smaller than a Hot Wheels.
But it's like you see these cars on the track, and if you grew up playing with those cars, like I grew up, my brother always had them, so it has that feel to it. But you are actually being able to visualize the shifting because of how you are planning out your movement, and it is really, really neat. We got to play a few rounds of that with someone else.
And it's very exact. So like the car has the same cutout on the front of it, or the back of it, for where like that goes into the tile. So when
she said everything paused. It's cool on my end.
Are we back?
It's cool on
my
my
end. Says the stream is excellent. Never mind. Okay. So when you get to the end of your turn, you hold that tile down and you lock your car in, and then you very carefully, so the cars are in the exact physical space on the board. So when the next player comes, they have to decide, okay, can I cut on the inside, and maybe I can pay a couple points to be able to go through the grass and not take the penalty. But it is so like,
and turn order changes depending on who's in the lead.
Whoever's in the lead. If you can get your car just a little bit in the lead, then you get to go first, and then you can cut off the other person.
Say I'm third, I get to move up my speedometer, which is my movement points, up 3, because I'm in third place. So there's kind of a little bit of catch-up mechanic if you're in last place, and you can choose to be like, you can strategically be in last place and then build up your points. You can go up to 20 so that you can just
20, 23 maybe.
Something like that, 22.
Yeah. But then, like, you also, again, you can drift and you can do the emergency brake. So you can do coming around to turn and pull your emergency brake and fishtail around and then just shoot off. It's awesome. It is the only racing game that is actually racing and not rolling dice to see where you go or bidding on who's going to win. It is actually physically.
It's not like
mechanically.
It's
mechanically racing.
Now, my dad taught me how to not like actually how to drive for the base racing game, the arcade, but like when I'm braking. So we went, and he was like, when you go in a turn, you want to let off of your accelerator, and then when you're in the turn, then you start accelerating to get that. And so like I had that visual, like I kept remembering what it was like to be in an arcade and driving, because that's my first experience of shifting and things like that. And so I kept feeling that while we were playing the game of going around this turn. It's like, okay, I need to slow down a little bit so that I can then drift and then zoom out of this turn. But so it was really cool to kind of visualize that with those memories.
And then on the straightaways too, like thinking, okay, I'm going to put down fifth gear, but just like I genuinely felt the tension of like, I have a turn coming up and I can't, like, they won't pivot. Like I can't start turning fast enough. I'm going too fast, so I need to downshift. Like you're thinking through that terminology, which I've not done, and I haven't played a ton of racing games. But it's, as far as theme goes, like I was thinking in the terminology. It wasn't okay, I need a smaller tile here. It's like, okay, I need to downshift so that I can make this turn, and then I can upshift again.
And I was even thinking the same thing. Like I was in that same mind space real quick, just because of what is presented and how you use those mechanics. It was really, really interesting. So that is Drift, and that is coming from Good Games Publishing. I believe he's going to be kickstarting that, right?
Yeah, that's going to be Kickstarter early next year.
Okay.
Then we have
we did 6-0?
We've done all that. 6-0 was one I don't remember much about. It was from Foxmind. You've got a little suction cup that you're trying to pick up tiles and put them in a certain orientation.
That was another Foxmind game. But I think that one's been out for a while. We just hadn't seen it.
Now, Dawn of Ulos.
Dawn of Ulos. That is the new game that's going to Kickstarter, and that's from Thunderworks Games. That is in the cartographer's world and the lockup world of Ulos, and their world that they've created for their games is just fantastic. I'm in love with it. And so with Dawn of Ulos, Keith described it to me. I went over to his booth before they opened. I was like, hey, talk to me about this game. It's going to Kickstarter September 6th, I believe. And it is, I believe it's a 3-week campaign. But that one is going to, you are gods, and you've got these different animals. I believe there's 10 different animals that are trying to reign territory over the lands of Ulos. And again, this is the dawn of Ulos. So this is like before cartographers and before lockup and before the roll and write adventures and all this. Before all that happened, the dawn of Ulos happened. And so you've got your tiles, and they've got these clusters of tiles that interlock differently. And then you've got these other tiles that you lay out depending on what other animals that you want. And the animals favor certain tiles. So if you lay a tile next to them so that they reign over 3 or 4, then there's another track where they move up in that favorability, that favor of those tiles. Well, what you're doing as a god is you're kind of like bidding. Think of like you're investing in certain stock markets. You're kind of, and you can get cards to allow you to do different things, but you're trying to get the gods or the animals that you want to be higher. You want to invest in those so that you have a better payout in the end. I'm kind of clunky in how I'm describing this, but it's beautifully done, and I'm really, really pumped about this game. Again, when we do our other video, I did take some B-roll of that so you can have an idea of how those look. And each of those 10 animals have their own little mini that they put on the board, and it's just really fantastic and just gorgeous. The game board is just vibrant.
Yeah.
So I love being able to sit and talk with Keith about that. I also raved about the 3 map packs that just came out for cartographers. You've got your Kethra Steppe, you've got your Frozen Expanse, and you've got your Hornhelm Marketplace.
I am shocked that you remembered all of those.
But so I got to talk to them and just what I loved about those. So it was really cool. And then they also, I believe they sold out of the 10 Pennies Park. And then they've announced it there. They're going to be doing another expansion of the Role Player Adventure. So you've got your Role Player Adventure, the big box, and then you've got the other expansion that came with that Kickstarter. But after the Dawn of Ulos Kickstarter, I believe the beginning of November, they're going to run another Kickstarter for the expansion, the new expansion of Role Player Adventures. Yeah. So that's really exciting. I don't know much about that. He didn't have anything to show, but that was cool to hear about that.
Yes. So that's pretty much it. I think we went through everything else that we'd seen.
Don't give everyone your code.
We don't have an overhead guarantee.
Do we not have anything else?
The Yosemite.
Yosemite, and then the What If. So the
WizKids,
WizKids. We have not done anything with WizKids, so we tried to make connection with WizKids. Something while Daniel was waiting to talk to Will Frank, something like that.
I don't know.
I saw a game on the table, a demo table, that I was like, this doesn't look like WizKids. What is this? So I had someone describe it to me as Yosemite, and it is, this is a weird combination, but think like Cascadia and Parks and Seven Wonders Duel together. It was that type of, it was really unique. You've got your animals and their locations, and you're trying to get your pictures at different places at Yosemite. So that's where the parks kind of come in. You're trying to take pictures, but then there's this push and pull with tents and things that is like the Seven Wonders Duel with the war track. And then you're moving your little character, your little tent around to be at the right places, and you can do different things with those places. It was really unique. It was a gorgeous art. I didn't remember who did the artwork, but that's coming from WizKids, and I was like, I'm really excited to see this, because you really just think minis and like tile and card games with WizKids, and so that was really unique, and I'm pumped to see more of those type of games coming from WizKids, because that's kind of our forte. We really want to go to Yosemite next year. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. So then something else, they also had the What If game, which is the Marvel
What If.
I didn't really see a lot of that. I did some, I just had the characters. You got the What If characters from the film or the series that came out was it this spring?
You know when it came out, the Disney Plus series.
Right. So I believe it's just kind of a battle game with using those characters and how they are unique to the characters they are in the What If series.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
That was it.
Was that it?
Yeah,
Really? Oh, the Dune Imperium minis, or the Dune, not Imperium.
Yeah, the Dune War for Arrakis. Is that what it is?
I took some pictures of these minis, and so we'll show them in our other video, and I'll post them on Instagram as well. They were painted by...
Yeah, War for Arrakis.
Can't remember who it was. They sent them off. This is Simon. They were beautiful and just...
We'll post some pictures of those. Yeah, that's
gorgeous. I had so many people just standing because they had them in its case, and everyone was just like, oh my gosh. They were gorgeous. They had a lot of other minis in that case too, but the Dune ones were the ones that got most of the attention. So that was our Gen Con experience. It was a whirlwind. It is unlike any other convention. And I didn't really understand it when people were telling us that you really want to start with PAX. People were like, yeah, PAX and Origins.
Yeah, if this was our first convention experience, it would be just deer in the headlights overwhelming. It was still a little deer in the headlights overwhelming.
It was. I'm really glad we took care of ourselves and didn't go out Friday night and slept the way we did. And
we left Saturday afternoons. We didn't really do much evening stuff.
It was not a social convention.
No.
It was not a social convention for us.
Social stuff happened. The meetups that we normally go to happened Saturday night. So like Chris's meetup and all that. So
sad we missed that, but we needed to get home. We actually did it slower. So we drove to Memphis, or right outside. We drove to Jackson. I really want some Calyx shelves for our sunroom. And so we drove to the Memphis IKEA and walked in there Sunday morning and got some Calyx shelves and then other things that we didn't know we needed, because that's what happens when you're at IKEA. So then we got home and picked our babies up and our dogs up, and
and slept.
Yeah, we did.
So
except for I forgot that dogs bark in the middle of the night, so our outside dog barked and kept waking me up.
Yeah.
But that happens. So
still
that is
good.
Now, if you hadn't yet watched our gender reveal, go watch that, or you can see you want to go ahead and open it. It's a girl.
Yep.
We're having a little girl.
We are. So
we don't have a name yet.
Nope.
Don't have a name yet.
Player 5 will be here.
Batting forth different names. Haven't nothing. I found out because I was like, this one, we're probably just gonna have to meet her.
Yeah.
To find out the name. And my mother-in-law was like, they won't let you leave the hospital if you don't have a name. And I was like, what? You can't just be like, this is baby girl Burl. Nope. You have to have a name for the birth certificate.
Yeah. So funny thing, we got this. We found out Monday what it was.
The boys wanted to do a cupcake reveal, so I put like the pink in the middle of the cupcake. Yeah. They bit it, and it was girl, and it was so exciting.
Yeah. So that was Monday around lunch, and I was like, hey, let's do something fun for Gen Con. Just because we're seeing so many friends. So let me look and see if I can find like a cupcake stress ball that I can cut open and put a meeple, like do this and like put magnets in it. So I had this idea. So I found the only cupcake stress ball that Amazon had that would get here in a day. So I got it and I was like, okay, cool, let's do this. So I cut it open.
It was blue.
And it was this color blue all the way through. So like, apparently this pink and yellow is painted. So yeah, she wasn't home when I did that. So I was like, oh, well, that's gonna be confusing to have a blue cupcake with a pink meeple in there. So we got some paint and painted it yellow.
You did.
I did. Yeah, I did all of it. So and then we cut some holes and put some magnets in there so it could pull it apart. It worked great. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, if you haven't seen the reveal video, we have that where you can see, obviously you know what it is, but you can see everyone's reaction.
And it
was just fun. I
cried when because he cut together all of the reactions first before we filmed our I heard some thunder before we filmed our opening to that.
Yeah. And
he sent that to me, and I was just, of course, I'm so emotional. I mean, I broke down in the IKEA in the toddler toys and stuffed animals area because I was just like, I was overwhelmed. I'm so daggum like on the spot emotional right now. I just break out in tears. So
it happens.
Apparently, I wasn't this kind of emotional with the boys though. Apparently, I was. I don't know. I don't remember being this kind of emotional.
No. So if we missed anything,
there was a couple of times I was talking to people that you hadn't shared the cupcake with, and I was like, "You got to talk to Daniel. He's got the cupcake." And then we were talking about stuff, and I let it slip because I said she, and they were like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh man." I didn't mean to do that, but it is really fun to call her a girl and little baby girl, and I've never had a girl before.
So we're
this
gonna have
is
to
a
figure that out.
fun. I tell people I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna stick a bow on it and do the same thing I did before.
It's now less consequential that we gave away all of our baby clothes in March of this year.
Not less consequential. I gave it all away in my maternity
Yeah, that
clothes.
still matters, but that's
I
still
got
a
this
bummer.
at Walmart. It says eat, sleep, grow, repeat. I was like, that works.
So
I'm tired. Are you sure you want to do a Dune encryption?
No.
Or not Dune.
Inscription.
And it's not Dune. It's
Maybe
Twilight.
we'll do it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do it
sure
tonight.
we should do this?
You'll
I can't
find
even
out
say the
when we post a thumbnail and get online. But yeah, so this is our Gencon experience. If you have any questions, if we missed anything, let us know. We're still going to do
we missed a lot.
We did. We're still going to do an actual follow-up video
where you can see our
with
B-roll and
all
things
that.
like that, so you can see what the games that we were talking about. But we wanted to just kind of unload right after it happened, so that we can maybe rewatch this and remember things when we do our other video.
So thank you everyone who popped in and chatted with us. It's been a lot of fun to just experience this. We love the community that we have built and that we have been able to be a part of. Gen Con was a crazy experience.
We've already booked our hotel for next year.
So
we will be there and probably with a baby.
Yeah.
So,
but not with Jared and Peyton. We won't bring Jared and Peyton to this.
No, they'll come with us. I believe our next convention will be PAX, and we booked our hotel, and they'll be coming with us.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Is the plan right now, is for Jared and Peyton to come with us to PAX U.
So if you go to PAX, you'll be able to see Jared and Peyton in person.
Yeah.
And that'll be our last big hoorah trip of the family of 4, and then after that, we got a little girl in tow.
Yep.
Kind of crazy.
So.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm tired.
Thank you everyone for hanging out.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
I need some food.